good morning. It's 7 o'clock. Good morning. All right, good morning. It's 7 o'clock. We'll get the briefing started. This is a briefing for 823 day shift. My name's Robert Ashby. I'm the planning section chief for Team 5. If you could please just silence your phones and your radios and hold any side conversations to a minimum, we'd appreciate it. We'll get started this morning with a situational update with Don Fraguglia.
All right, good morning everybody. So let's start down here in Branch 5 last night, which is where most of the action was for night shift. Fire continues to back down to the Highway 96 corridor as it has done in the last couple of shifts. We did have some indirect action going on with some dozers last night, and for the most part though, these fires did stay put, and no issues, no concerns that you'll inherit today on day shift. We did get some reports that maybe the Canyon Fire had gone across Dillon Creek. We're going to validate that today. We don't believe that to be the case. On the spot fire out here, they took action on this thing. I'm trying to wrap it up and buy us some time. U-Fish and Malone last night were both static. Nothing going on out there as far as structure defense or anything like that. The fires actually laid down quite nicely and gave them a little bit of a break. Up here on the Branch 20 on the head fire last night, good work went in, mop up. On the direct line that you guys put in yesterday. That work is expected to continue today and in the coming days. And here on the north end as well. Golden Scott, they got good humidity recovery last night. No issues, no concern last night. Lake Fire said that all was quiet. So you guys are inheriting a pretty quiet fire this morning. We know that going forward, this is probably going to start to ramp back up, right? The weather's going to change. That situation will probably change in the coming days. So thanks, have a good shift.
Good morning, Scott Stearns, incident meteorologist. So we've got the big top tent up here in, Montague. So you know what that means? No rain today. So we're looking at fairly clear skies. Be a little bit of a change, quite a change actually from what we have been seeing in terms of the weather that'll be, or lack of weather, I should say. So with that in mind, we did see pretty good RH recoveries across pretty much the entire incident, pretty much all elevations of every fire, as far as I'm aware of, about 80-90% RH recovery overnight. So today, we are looking at full sun. There might be a few clouds left out there, but really not much to speak of once we start to mix out, and any of the fog that's down in those lower elevations will start to dissipate around noon or so today, it looks like. And once that happens, we'll see fairly light terrain-driven winds on the order of maybe 5 miles an hour or so sustained, and gusts to around 10 or 15 miles an hour across the fire, but especially in the larger drainages and such. So not really too much of a change there. We are looking at a bump in the temperatures. We'll see highs today into the low 80s, kind of just a rough average across the incident. More specifics in your IFP if you want it for different elevation bands. RHs will be about 5-10% lower than what they were yesterday, depending on location. So we are looking at the lower elevations across the western side of the complex, likely get down into the mid-20s today for minimum RHs, and likely into the low 30s, maybe mid-30s for the higher elevations, the head fire, some of those areas that did receive precipitation a couple days ago. So that's about it. Pretty short briefing for me this morning. Again, no chances of precipitation today. However, that does change as we get into tomorrow with thunder moving back in potentially. So that's all I got. Thanks.
Good morning, Matt Brown, Team 5 Fire Behavior. So as you heard from Scott, we've got quite a bit of RH recovery, some of the strongest recoveries we've seen so far on the fire. And we're going to hold on to that recovery. That high RH is going to impact those 1s and 10s and 100-hour fuels. It's going to keep them high, kind of unavailable for most of the shift. But overnight, because of the precip and the high RHs, the burning's kind of diminished quite a bit, and so is the smoke production. So typically in the morning, we're going to get that smoke combined with the RH, and we're going to hang on that until late in the day. But today it's a little different. Not a lot of smoke, but a lot of humidity. So what we're going to see is a transition when the sunlight hits those fuels and starts drying them out. You're going to start seeing the first part of the fire waking back up today, late in the day. So the fire continues to move through the dead component mostly. The live components are average for this time of year. We're not getting a lot of consumption of the live component. So the dead component is going to need that sunlight. The lower RHs, the higher temperatures, that come back to life, and you're going to see the first part of that today. Going forward, we're going to see a lot more of that. So what we're looking at is around 65% RH. The fire starts waking up. If it sits there below there for about an hour, and it'll start moving through the heavier fuels at that point. Over here, the head fire, there's still quite a bit of soil moisture that is in here impacting it. We're not expecting any sort of movement out of the head fire today. Scott and Gold, the same thing. Not a lot of movement out of those fires today, hanging on to that. With the folks going direct in there on some steep country, in the coming days when it does dry out, rollout can continue to be a problem in that area, especially if there's some underslung line they're working on. Lake fire is kind of the same story. On this side over here, this typically is the drier part of the fire. We do get a diurnal wind shift in here, and because of the full sunlight, the diurnal flow is going to be stronger today. So you're going to get upriver sometime in the early afternoon, downriver after midnight, and it'll pressure those flanks of that fire on that side, and swirl around and create some eddying effect around the bends in the river. So be prepared for a normal diurnal pattern to set up in here. Full sun, fuel's waking up, and things kind of deteriorating over the next few days. Thank you.
All right, just want to turn your attention to the management objectives and the control objectives. You can find those also on the first page of your IEP. Thank you.
All right, good morning, Spencer Andreas. I'll go ahead and get into our work assignments along with our objectives for the day. So if everybody could switch their 203 for me for roll call. All right, day operations, Don Fergulia with Spencer Andreas as a trainee. Deputy operations, Alex McBath with Scott Korn, who's over at the CAL FIRE camp. Night operations, Steve Burns with Robert Rice as a trainee. Plane ops, Ernie Villa and Jaime Hidalgo. Branch 5, Gary Monday is over at Happy Camp with Frank Alves as a trainee. Division Alpha unstaffed. Division Charlie, David Winokur with Phil Parishis as a trainee. Division Hotel, Dale Schmidt with Brian Sears, a trainee. Also in Happy Camp, Branch 10, Jeff DeProp with Jason Schofield, Division Juliet, Jason Schofield with Mike Spalding as a trainee. Division Kilo, Jesse Perry with Chris Allen as a trainee. And Division Lima, Sean Butterback. Branch 20, Steve Clark. Division Mike November, Brad Rafferty. Division Oscar, Anthony Powers with Charles Daniel as a trainee. Division Romeo, Anthony Ochapini. Division Tango, Chevelle Monk with John Jordan as a trainee. All right, over at the CAL FIRE camp, Branch 25, Larry Truman, Division Alpha Alpha, Dennis Campbell. Division Bravo Bravo, Mark Mancini. Division Charlie Charlie, Ian Stevens with Mark Jorgensen as a trainee. Branch 30, Chris Stevens. Here. Cody Statcher's trainee. Here. Okay, a little change today. We do not have a Yankee today, so the Townsend Fire will be the Townsend group with Zeke Jones, who's out on the line, and Division Zulu, Jack Sevelson. All right, so priorities for today. Okay, remain priority number one is going to be the head fire. Okay, we had some Mother Nature helped us quite a bit over the last few days. Yesterday they made a lot of progress with direct and indirect line. We're going to continue those efforts. We want to try and over the course of the next couple days go direct as possible throughout the whole portion of this fire and get these communities hopefully back situated. One thing to note for those in Hamburg working in that area, they're planning on re-energizing in there. So please brief that in your breakouts down to the firefighter level today, just so everybody's aware, especially if you're working in amongst the structures. Branch 5 and 10 are going to be our next priorities today. They didn't get any precipitation. Again, we're all sitting here walking through the mud. They didn't get anything. Yesterday, activity by noon, 1 o'clock, all the 4 of these fires were, they're pushing. This is going to be our next priority. Now that we're more importantly getting resources to support them, we need to start looking at direct and indirect options throughout here. So work assignments for today. Branch 5, Dillon Creek, as Don alluded to. We had a small spot yesterday where they quickly picked it up, but this is going to be a problem day. As the IMED alluded to, we're going to have clear air today. We're going to get that rotary wing in there, work that line, but we need to make sure that thing doesn't cross Dillon Creek. Also patrolling and holding the 96 corridor. A lot of these fingers are starting to push down throughout these fires, so we need to hold this 96 corridor, really important. Swillop Fire, same thing, 96 corridor. They're going to start working this eastern edge today, direct, so that would be good progress. And also holding the 24 road. So fires up to the 24 road. I know we don't have IR, but they've been holding that road, buying them time to start. They've been starting to push the 19 road to come up to this and work west to start building that big box. The spot fires we talked about got cut today, so we'll need to make sure that we monitor that. U-Fish and Malone. Malone's starting good. They got the northern portion cut yesterday along with the eastern side. And the plan today is indirect line starting to push towards the river, not only on the south from the Titus Peak, but tying in from the 17 to the 33 road. So a lot of good progress up there as well, and we're anticipating hopefully getting some more dozers in there. Moving up into branch 20. Like I said, a lot of great work today. It's going to be a continuation of that. Direct when we can. They were able to get in, start working a lot of these fingers and pockets and islands direct with the crews. We've bolstered all 4 of those divisions with additional shot crews today. So the goal is to continue direct as possible. I know in Division Tango, they work direct on this western side, and then they're going to be starting pushing indirect with dozers. Townsend, looking really good. Still need to monitor that for the next few days. We need to do some cold trailing through the day, and hopefully we get that in control status the next couple shifts. The Golden Scott, a lot of great work up there by our CAL FIRE partners. They got line complete all the way to the Scott River. They're continuing to push indirect, opening up existing lines to the east past Anderson Peak, and then that thing's getting fingering down into that Scott River. So their big concern today and priority for the next couple shifts is holding that fire along Scotts River Road. And then the Lake Fire, a lot of great work over there. They've got the whole northern piece cut. So, and today they're going to start tying the southern piece of that into the trail system and the western side into a creek bed. So a lot of great work overall throughout the whole complex. We're making good ground. Keep up the great work and have a safe shift.
Hey, good morning. John Kazee, Air Ops with Team 5. If you go to page 35 in your IAP, open up to the ICS 220, the Air Ops summary. In there, you can take a look in there. You can see the frequencies. No frequencies changes today, but they're all right there. And then you see the lineup for helicopters. So that's still the same as yesterday. So if the air's clear, and hopefully we got a better day today, we're planning on doing a lot of flying. So if we got the air, we'll get air attack up, and he'll be up over the fire, help facilitate those needs, and also check in with the folks out there on the ground and get that going. With that, just a reminder, when you're working out there with the helicopters, if you order them up, make sure you have a plan for how you're going to use them, or be able to communicate to them once they show up where you want them to drop. And make sure you got people on the ground with the right frequencies, ready to talk to them and ready to receive them, so that they can be as effective as possible for you. Also remember too, with the folks out there, if you're working on the ground, with the helicopters dropping water, it's a lot of water that's coming out of that helicopter with a lot of weight. So make sure, take the time, make sure you're a safe distance away and uphill and away from the water drops, so that everyone stays safe. So with that, have a good day.
Good morning, everybody. Ken Arrow Communications. How are you? So, since everyone's giving page numbers, 33, I think, and 34, or 32 and 33, those are your incident 205s. You got two of them. One is an IA group. The other is the incident group for channels. Okay, they're all tone selectable. If you don't know what that means, or if you're having trouble selecting tones, go ahead and visit us in comms, and we'll give you a good, quick lesson in tones. Okay? Is that better? Okay. Yeah, because if you don't get your tones right, it pretty much sounds like this, and nobody can hear what you're saying. So you got to get your tones right so people can hear you. Okay? You see what I'm saying? Right. Okay, good. So there's no clone today. I know that's depressing news, but there's no clone. Although we do have a lot of context rolling in, so when we do get our system up and running, which looks like it's going to happen within probably the next couple of days, we will have a massive clone. So keep checking in, make sure you get it. If you're new to this incident, get a clone. That's very important. Phonetic alphabet. Remember, use your phonetic alphabet. A sounds like K, right? B, C, D, E, G. They all sound very much similar, especially over a semi-broken radio. So make sure you use your phonetics, okay? And last but not least, have a great shift. Oh, and IWIs all go on KNF repeat. So divisions, groups, please review with your people. You're the boots on the ground out there. You know which tones and nets are working the very best for you. So make sure you actually let us know as well which ones work best to hit you on, okay? Thank you, that's all.
Hey, good morning, Jeff Carlin Medical. So yesterday, you guys went out and got some, and you went after it. Good job. With that, we had a couple of incidents, a couple of IWIs out there, and for the most part, they ran really well. So thank you guys very much for reviewing your procedures, making those things run smooth. So just to recap what communications said, if we do get an IWI, it goes over force repeat. Tell them who you are, where you're at, what you got, and what you need, and we will help you out with that. Couple things with our REMS team, Oceanside REMS team, we're going to change you up. You're going to be getting sent over to drop point 20 for today, because again, you heard from your assignments. We're getting aggressive again today. So Oceanside, you're going to move to drop point 20, and that'll be in Division Oscar. And then also all medical resources through across the headfire is going to be division sharing, all right? So if you guys get moved, just make sure everybody is aware of where you're moving to, all right? With that, be safe.
Good morning, Jason Lindberger, Team 5 Safety. First of all, I want to say thank you for being safe out there. We've had a few minor incidents, but overall our safety record is excellent on this incident, so let's keep it up. I'm going to get a lot of information from my line safeties out there. You know, they're paying attention to more stuff. They're starting to see a lot more green trees falling. So just be heads up, with all that moisture we got, a lot more of the green trees are starting to fall up there too, just not the snags. Poison oak. We're noticing a trend up in poison oak. Take those preventive measures when you get back to camp. Take a shower, wash yourself off, get new Nomex, and do the preventive measures so we can stop the poison oak spread. Driving. I know we always count driving, but take this seriously. CHP and the sheriff will pull you over. If you're going above the speed limit, it doesn't matter that you're a fire engine, fire truck, whatever you're in, they will pull you over and give you a ticket. And if you do get a ticket, you're gonna have to come see safety and the ICs. So just be mindful of the speeds out there, especially in these small communities. Just go a little bit slower than the speed limit. No rush. Lastly, please, I know the parking area's been a money mess out there due to the rains. The public's asked not to park in front of their houses out here on the street. You know, there's a lot of fire traffic coming through their neighborhood every morning, every night. So please be mindful of the residents in the community and do not park in front of their houses. Thank you. Have a safe shift.
Good morning, I'm Autumn Lucas, the HRSP. Today's HR message can be found in the IAP along with my contact information, so feel free to reach out if you have any questions or concerns. And with that, have a safe shift.
Morning, everyone. Joshua Porter, the lead read here in Montague. If you're looking on page 40, is our resource message. Some of it's similar, some of it's a little different, so please review that. And specifically, we are now featuring some plant identification, and this one in here is called the Klamath Mountain buckwheat that grows on serpentine. Okay, so yeah, some of you might remember, wait, serpentine, isn't that, could be asbestos? Some of it can be, some of it not, so it likes that environment, that's where it grows. But there's also another longer list here of other endangered plants, and those QR codes that have been placed on there will get you a free app that works offline, doesn't need cell service, and you can, if you want to identify and learn more about some of the rare and endangered flowers and plants out there, you can, or take it, keep it obviously, take it home, and I know my son loves it. He's always like, hey Dad, what's that flower? What's that flower? And we can work on it together, or you have grandchildren or whatever. Anyway, free apps, works really well, completely offline, and then you can help identify some of the endangered plants out there. Have a safe shift.
Good morning. All right. Hey, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the solid work yesterday. I drove through Scott River yesterday, checked it out, looked at the gold, the Scott, the head, and then talked to some folks. We went down for a community meeting, Rachel Smith and I, down there in Happy Camp. And there was folks had good things to say about the fires down west of Happy Camp, down by Independence, that Dillon Creek, Pony Peak country. And I've been there a few times myself over the years, and that's some tough country. I mean, the whole Klamath is tough country, but that's especially tough. So just commend all your efforts out there. You guys are killing it. And we're really starting to show the public, the people that we protect, that we serve, that we're doing our jobs, that we're doing the right thing out there. I heard they talked about maybe turning the power back on in Hamburg. That's going to really show the folks that that they're getting their money's worth, you know, because they pay our salaries. You know, their taxes pay our salaries, and we need to do what we can to bring back some normalcy to them. So as you go out there today, take advantage of those opportunities. You know, we still got some moisture on the ground, and you know, listening to ops and the F-band is that this is the day we take advantage of it again before it starts to get hot. And then when it gets hot and when we start to see more fire behavior, then we have something smaller that we can deal with. So thank you, and have a good shift today.
Good morning, Rachel Smith, Klamath National Forest. So just to add to Chief Law's words, we had a community meeting yesterday at Happy Camp, and a really amazing amount of support for all the efforts that we've been doing downriver. So just wanted to say thank you to everybody, wherever you've been on this fire. Your work has been noticed, and we really appreciate it. Finally wanted to mention that app that the resource advisor mentioned, it also helps you identify poison oak. If you haven't spent time on the Klamath National Forest, you should get up close and familiar with poison oak as quickly as you can, ideally through your camera lens rather than by touching it yourself. It can be pretty nasty. Please stay safe out there. We know that we've had debris flows over the last couple of days. Both Chief Laws and I drove 96 yesterday, and things are looking relatively clear, but there's been a lot of erosive activity. So keep your head on a swivel and have a safe shift. Thank you.
Good morning, Jason Schillinger, Enlisted Commander Trainee with Team 5.
Yesterday, as they mentioned, we did have a public meeting over in Happy Camp. A lot of concerned citizens, a lot of questions. It went well, but the community over there has dealt with a lot of fire the last handful of years. And so there's all the way from, from Happy Camp, Sayat Valley, Horse Creek, there's been a lot of fire the last few years. So I hope you guys can understand the stuff that they go through with power getting shut off and roads closed and homes burned. So be respectful of the folks out there. I know you guys are. We haven't had any issues, but continue doing that. Today, we're going to see some sun come up on the fire. It's going to be a perfect day to try to get some hard work done, get some black line on the map, and then later on in the week, it's going to start warming up. So know that if we can get some hard work done in there today, it's going to help us out. And then leader's intent still remains the same. The full suppression strategy will be implemented on a Happy Camp. So continue to work hard, have a good, safe day, and we'll see you guys here tomorrow. Thank you.
All right, again, just a couple of housekeeping items. For the folks down at Happy Camp, when we're done with the briefing, please stay in the area. There's a few messages that they need to convey to you down there, so I appreciate that. Any unassigned resources, come up to the front. We have our resource unit leaders that will capture your information and get you an assignment. The breakouts are posted, starting with Division Charlie over here and going around counterclockwise. So find your respective breakout areas. Our next operational briefing will be tonight at 1800. We do have a cooperators meeting at 10 o'clock, and the next planning meeting will be at 1700. Be safe, be productive, and have a good day. Thank you.